My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm super fantastical and doing really well. And today I'm reviewing from the house of Parfums de Marly, Althair. And the description is, Althair explores a majestic, subtle and surprisingly fresh vanilla that is elegant, generous and charismatic. Top notes: orange blossom, bergamot, cinnamon, high notes of bourbon vanilla, elmley. The base notes are gaiac wood, ambrox, praline and musk. Do we have our bottles of Althair? Are we engaged with the higher self? Let's get testing. So this is £245 for 100 ml. So I don't know anything about this. So when I was looking, the name is not printed here. So the name is underneath. I do like the two little dots on it. Let's have a look at the atomizer. I don't know anything about this at all. I've got to say, I don't like the colour. I don't like the toffee baby nappy colour. I just don't like it. That's not that appealing, I've got to say. I'd have preferred something a bit more like cream if it's vanilla. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting Parfums de Marly, kind of, that makes sense. So what I'm going to expect is long-lasting, finished, complete, blended, lots of sillage. Sometimes you get projection, sometimes you don't, but you generally get a wall of fragrance. And I kind of are expecting something in keeping with that. I love the cap, very nice, feels weighty. Parfums de Marly always has a clean finish to it. No matter what it is, it kind of has a clean backbone to it, sort of ambery backbone. That's kind of what I've sort of noticed as the thing about it. So I would like it to be like that. So let's apply the fragrance and see what we think. Very nice. I've got to say, very likable. I think if you like vanilla fragrances, vanilla-centric fragrances, then I think you'll love this. I don't know what's not to like. I like it straight off. And that is the vanillin coumarin heliotropin. And that gives a sort of a slight powdery finish to the fragrance. It's got that Parfums de Marly classic DNA, which is sort of clean finish. They use lots of bergamot. Bergamot on the top helps to give lots of lift without it being too sharp, too pointed. The geometry of the fragrance is quite round, it's just kind of what I expected. I think technically it's great because it's very difficult to create a fragrance that has a round geometry, which is sort of the smoothness of the fragrance through the sort of vanillin. Vanillin and ethyl vanillin are quite round in their geometry, quite smooth, quite soft. If you think about ice cream, which is ethyl vanillin, it has a sort of a sweet smoothness to it. You think of sort of cream and lactonic notes. And vanillin, which smells more like vanilla pods, is sort of going in the direction of sort of more balsamic. And the two together give you vanilla, sort of. And the coumarin in it as well as giving sort of that tonka finish as well. Not overly sweet. I love the backbone of this. I think Parfums de Marly's do a really great job of the choice of musks. So this fragrance is technically really great because the geometry is round and it's got projection as well, with sort of round geometry that's based around vanillin and the nitro musk like galaxolide, ethylene brassylate. You kind of can get quite a flat, heavy fragrance, but the perfumer's job is to get that sort of round, soft, smooth, vanillic finish, but also get elevation and lift. I think if you said to me, create a fragrance that smells of like vanilla pods, like the inspiration is vanilla pods, this is kind of where my mind would go to. And in vanillin, you have like the wood notes, the balsamic notes, obviously the vanilla and the ethyl vanillin, the sweetness, the gourmand nature. And this is really what's been represented within this fragrance, which is smoothness and softness from the vanillin, and then backed upon sort of wood notes. I think of them as oriental woods, like the Cephalus, Luxolone, Cedol. Even though they're based around sort of like cedarwood, I have them in the category of more oriental woods. Obviously based on Isu Super, you would base this on Isu Super and Hedione to give the sort of floral lift to it. On to my final thoughts. So this is I think a more unisex to masculine leaning. And the reason why I'm saying more masculine leaning is because the use of the ambergris, like family raw materials, quite heavily. The ambroxan, credember, the heavier woods, Isu Super, vanillin, small amounts of sort of naturals flickering through the fragrance. You have lift, the bergamot, the mandarin. Mandarins, I would just reach for these things, the things I would reach for. Mandarin is a woody aspect to the citrus. So it's a citrus with a woody aspect. It has a wood-like quality, wood citrus quality. Obviously, petitgrain is much, much more wood-like, but I think mandarin has a wood quality to it, to bergamot, and the mandarin helping to give sort of life with some sort of cedarwood to help get sort of smoothness. Cedarwood is lovely depending on the type you use. I mean, you have some cedarwoods that are really smoky, like Chinese cedarwood, and then you have right through to cedarwood atlas, which is more top note, which is lighter. And you have cedarwood in the different types, and you have Himalayan cedarwood. So Himalayan cedarwood is sort of less smoky and more sort of woody, pencil box-like finish to it. I love this. I think it's very nice. If it's me, which it is, I'm going to mark this in two ways. One is as I'm just appreciating it. I think it's lovely. I think it's just very, very likable. I think if you don't like vanilla and wood-like fragrances, I don't think this is for you. But if it's me, and primarily because I'm designing some vanillic fragrances that are missing from my range, I kind of would add in a bit more sort of amber raw materials to it to give much more sort of lift and elevation. And I would love some spices. I think spices work really lovely with vanilla, you know, the nutmeg. And you've also got the cinnamon leaf. I mean, that kind of just makes things sort of quite delicious. Just sort of trace amounts which sort of give it a little bit of interest. This is a linear fragrance, meaning that you apply it and it doesn't change, which is great. I think that's very nice. I would think of it as a medium intensity. I don't think of it as a insanely strong, choking you out fragrance. I think it's nice. I'm getting about, so you know, a foot of projection. I think it smells delicious. And I think the longevity is going to be about 6 hours. But on some people's skin, because of the choice of musk, because of the choice of vanilla molecules that tend to be heavy and have a fixative effect, I think this will be more longer lasting. But I don't think this is going to be a beast because of the nature of what it is. But I'm sure on some people out there, you're likely to get that sort of beast-like finish. But on me, I think I would have sort of medium projection, about a foot, and about 6 to 8 hours wear. And I think in about 8 hours, it would be a skin scent. You know, I may smell this, you know, tonight, but I think I would enjoy it for about 4 hours. I think it's very nice. I think it's very, very nice. It's sort of got like a nectarine, peachy quality. Absolutely, you'd put the aldehydes in there. I mean, just goes without saying, it kind of would just go together to give us like a fruit quality. I think it's beautifully blended, and I think it's very balanced, actually. So I'm going to give it a 9, but for me, I'm going to give it an 8 because there's things that I would like personally added into there, which I'd like some more benzoin to really make it balsamic, or, you know, there's so many things that I'm working with at the moment, but it's very delicious and very enjoyable. So if you love that review, thumbs up and subscribe for fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands, and lots of fragrance reviews. We're staying safe and well. See you soon.